to me is what that is. All right, so the fun part for today is yeehaw. We're talking about stress, okay? And we all experience stress. So I was going to give my super presentation that we give to everybody, but it is very basic. We will still hit that. We're going to talk about some specific stuff that each of us deal with through our day, and we'll talk about that. So first thing, what is stress? What is your definition of stress? The wife doesn't count this. She's with us. So.
Just pressure to do things.
Pressure to do things. Okay, so a pressure to get something accomplished is stress. What is your definition of it?
Too many things to do and not enough time.
All right, so now it's a too many things. So it's an overload or too much.
Oh.
This is the perfect dichotomy for what people think of as stress. Some people get stressed as a, I have this process and I can't complete this process and it's stressing me out. Other people are, I have these processes and it's too much, I don't know where to start and where to begin. So basically, stress is your body's inability to cope. Okay, and that's going to be our basis for stress. Now, in the regular presentation, we talk about eustress. Eustress is actually good stress. That there is such a thing as good stress, and I'm going to touch on that now, but we don't want to. We're actually not going to focus on good stress. But good stress is why your heart works. Okay? Your heart has to squeeze the blood through the body. That squeeze is the muscle contracting, and that's actually a stress. But if we don't have that stress, our heart doesn't work, and that would be bad. That the heart doesn't work, that would be bad. So we've got to have some stresses. Kids are a perfect example of that. When you start with the crawling and all that from birth, we put our body in gravitational stresses. We start to put our body into different stressors. And if we don't experience those stressors, our bones can't form and our nerves don't heal right. So Wolff's Law is one of the things for bones, where our bone breaks. And if we don't get stress along the right plane line, you're good. Have a good night. If we don't get stress along those plane lines, that bone won't heal, and it's weaker. So we've got to have some stresses for the body to function or heal. That's eustress. Realistically, we're not going to talk about eustress because our body goes through that anyway. Yeehaw. So the tough thing is our body's inability to cope. That's stress. So the risk of, I'm going to go through a flyer because that's what we're going to touch about too. The risks of stress. The risks of your body's inability to cope. Now here's where I get to be more personal. Dad is a perfect example for this, okay? Because what happened with Dad is we had a stressor. Right? We had a stressor. And stressor, probably, besides age, we got to put that as possible. But the sick, right? We were not well. When we're not well, our body can't handle it anymore, and it made us more susceptible for CVA or stroke or whatever they ended up dying, because that is the risk of our body being stressed. When we can't cope, we're more susceptible to bad processes, like the stroke, like disease. For some of us, it's diabetes. There's other risks that we can get from not being able to cope. High blood pressure is huge for some people. Depression is another thing. Because we can't cope. We can't cope. And the trouble with not being able to cope is normal activities can be untolerable. So things that shouldn't normally give your body grief, we can't handle. It almost becomes an allergy. And this is what I want people to think about when they think about too much stress. An allergy is an over-response to a normal stimuli. Okay, so and allergens are with us all the time. There's pollen, especially here in North Carolina, there's pollen all year long. But all of a sudden people get seasonal allergies because the pollen count increases and they can't handle the normal stimuli and they have stuff, hives, their nose runs, their eyes get crazy. Stress acts the same way on the body if you think that way. But the trouble is most of the activities in our life are normal stressors. There's stuff that we go through all the time. Just like in my report we talked about, I can't quit my job and move to the Bahamas. You know, she's working on that. She's working on it. But we're not there yet. So we've got normal stresses that hit our body every day. You've got to get up. You've got to go to work. You've got to do that. The trouble is if we can't compensate for that, it's putting our body at risk for other stuff. So we've got to learn to compensate. Our body has got to learn how to deal with stress. So I'm gonna jump out of the risks of stress and talk about dealing now with stress. Are we good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's like, we can do that. Would you like to know ways of managing stress? See, look at that. I had to transfer right in. You think I've done it maybe once or twice before. Okay. Managing stress. This is why I brought my quick tip sheet for this. We give these out when we do health awareness, health and wellness fairs. This is one of our big, I'm going to give you that too.
Thank you.
One of our big pieces that is very basic, but very beneficial if you utilize this. So for some fairly simple tips, your body can cope easier. And that's really what we're talking about. The stresses, no offense, are not going to end. Carol and Denise have to deal with me every single day. That's not going to change. So they need to learn to deal with that stressor. Or like I said, quit their job and move to Bahamas. If they, but again, not everyone can do that. Carol, I think, is trying because she's moved houses and stuff, but there it is. So we're going to go over the tips. This is going to be my broad, but we'll make some more specific just for you, okay? Breathing. Breathing is our first. The deep breath. How many of your friends are smokers? Do you have smokers? Do you have any friends that are smokers?
Not anymore.
That's fantastic. Okay. There are fewer and fewer, but I use that analogy for a long, long time. It's less and less now, but smokers. People go out and they're like, I've got to take a smoke break. I've got to take a smoke break. I've got to take a smoke break. Some of it, of course, is the nicotine because they're addicted to that. I get that. But the other is because of this tip right here is the deep breathing. And the deep breathing is what they do when they smoke. They take the breath in.
Yeah.
They'll usually and then they'll blow it out. So our deep breaths are going to be exactly that. It's usually in for 3, hold for twice that, and out for 4 or 5. So you take the 3-second in. If you can, you hold it for 6, and then you blow it out 3 or 4. Now, some people, if you really want the deep cleansing, if you've got brain craziness, it's a 3, 6, and 6. So you take it in for 3, you hold it for 6, and you blow it out for 6. The tough thing with the blowing out for 6 is that you get the 6, which means you got it on that next 3. So usually I'll recommend them doing this a couple of times. This is why Mom was right. When you get stressed out about stuff, stop, take a deep breath, and go from there. There is some calming factors with taking the breath. So how to take the breath, think 3, 6, 4, or 3, 6, 6 if you can pull it that way. But it's got to be a hold too. It's gotta be a breathing and hold. You're not just breathing, blowing out. Sadly, my smokers get that. My smokers understand this concept. For us non-smokers, you gotta practice. This is a practice. Your deal again, because our thing was a project, right? Our project is, I can't handle. When you are into the throes of a project and it's too much, this is an easy compensatory method you can add. The breath is easy because we're not walking away, which is what we'll talk about in a minute. We're not walking away from the project, but it's going to give us some clarity. Just the stopping, taking a breath will give us some clarity. They had a count to 10 thing, but I don't see it on here. We'll do that more as the deep breath then. So that's your sit back, take the breath. This is not the way to deal too many projects. This is the wrong tip for that, but it is a good stress tip. The too many projects queen is the next one. Get away from the project. Get away. Because most people be like, crap, I have this to do, and I got this to do, and I got this to do, and I got this to do. And I've done already halfway through this. And he wants me to do some of that. I still have this to do. The easy way to prioritize that, because you get the overwhelm. Remember, we can't cope to a normal stimuli. That stuff is not going anywhere. You still have that stuff. But we forced through the tree again. We can't see where we've got to start. That's what the walk is for. A short walk is to get you out of the swamp. This gets you out of the swamp. And it's much easier to see the objective when you get out and get out. So I get that probably as a teacher you can't do this in the middle of class.
Probably that would be frowned upon.
Right, but there is a time between classes when you've got stuff. I get it, I get it, but this is still doable. You're like, you know what? I'm not gonna prep as much for my next class. I'm gonna get out. Let me do my 2-second walk to the locker or whatever. And short, I mean, I'm not talking, you don't have to run out of the building and take 3 hours. No, it's short. Yeah, you can set it in here, like water break or something, short. You just got to get out of the swamp. That's what this is, okay? Do you have any questions on that? Does that make sense for you? Could you do something like that? Could you apply something like that?
I could, but I have a feeling I would be thinking in the back of my mind, okay, now that's 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, that I'm not to tack on to the end of my day to get everything done.
Right. Now, okay, perfect. We're going to get to that next, how to fix that. We're going to get there. We're not there yet? But if you think you could add that, that is something that we'd want to add. So you've got to breathe, you get to walk, okay? Next one, here's what you don't want to do, because you're right, you can't turn your brain off. The stop and smell the roses one. This is not for my A's. My type A people that have got to complete a project or, yes.
That's both of us.
Okay, the stop and smell the roses is what this tip is. These are for my people that are my type C's. Me, the boisterous, I get it, because I'm like, I like this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get on this, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna do this, and I've got 18 bazillion things running around, and then I'm like, I'm gonna let them all drop, and these ladies have to pick up all the pieces for that. The stop and smell the roses, for me, is like, dude, you don't need 18 projects. Pick one. Pick one. I need a one project. And stop and smell the roses is like, dude, it's time for the big picture. You need to stop and smell. That's for me. So it doesn't apply as much for you guys, but that's a me type of deal. Sleep on it, though this is still good for the both of you. Nothing is going away, okay? That you are still going to be you tomorrow. You are still going to be you tomorrow. The stresses or the projects or the things that you're going to do are still going to be you tomorrow. So if you have a decision or you have something that is drama to you, sleep on it. Sleep on it. Don't feel that you have to get the decision done or the project done today or the thing done today or the thing is sleep on it. Sleep on it. And again, I see the look. She doesn't buy this one at all.
No.
Okay, and I see the look. I know the look. This is still a good one for my A's. It's a good one for my A's. Why? Why is this a good one? What drives you to get the project done now? What drives you for that?
Having an imposed deadline, it has to be done by this date.
Okay.
In which case I cannot sleep on it. Or,
Okay, no, perfect. So an imposed deadline is one of the
Okay.
reasons. Okay, so why else? Why else you say, no, I can't give it another day. It doesn't work like that. Give me another.
because then tomorrow, let's say I have 20 things to do today, I'm gonna get 15 of them done.
Correct.
Well, I'm gonna have another 20 tomorrow plus the 5 from the day
From
before.
the day before. All right, so compiling or compounding activity is what your stressor, which again, that's already what we talked about is our definition of stress for you anyway. Okay, so here, now I'm gonna skip. Well, the next one is appropriate too, but we're gonna skip. When you need help, you need to get help. The tough part for this is we are not an island. No matter how much they want to make you think, it's all up to you and only you. We are not an island. There are people that you can solicit help from. There are people. So if it gets to that craziness, this is the tough part for my type A, is the soliciting help. But understand, that's how your 20 projects get done with you only doing 15 of them. Okay?
And I admit, I don't delegate well.
Correct. And that's the type A deal. That is tough. Ask Denise. That is tough because Denise will take all projects on and 4 of them won't get done. I harass her. That's not going to pick up what I just said. So the camera won't hear, but there's your 15 out of 20, and you're like, crap, I've got, and the boss is going to hit you for the 5 that you didn't do because everything else is done. So I did 15 of your projects today, and you hit me for the 5. Well, because those are the 5 that I'm looking at. I'm like, all right, no. I see you did this and this and this. What happened to number 16? I mean, like, I didn't get to number 16. So solicit help. And you know there are people that you can solicit help from. You know they are. The other trouble for our type A's is a reciprocation factor. Influence drivers. Okay, so people that influence others, it's called the law of reciprocity. If I give you a gift or you're going to feel obligated to do something for me. It's a natural law. That law of reciprocity is a natural law. So you are thinking, if I have Ralph help me out with these 5 things, what 5 things am I going to have to do to make up for that? Believe it or not, Ralph doesn't care. Ralph doesn't care. He will be like, Yeah, I'll help you out with 3 of 5 because Ralph can, because he can, without worrying about reciprocity. So the beautiful thing is you're the one that has to deal with the reciprocity part of this. And here is where internet stuff, can I use an internet example? Here is where Fiverr made a fortune. Do you guys know about Fiverr? See,
Yeah.
this is perfect. Fiverr is a website that you can get basically anything done that you want in the world for $5. For $5, there are people that will offer their services to do just about anything for $5. Now, I'm going to give that internet example because it sucks. I have a website that we use for this office, and I need backlinks done. And again, let me run on my tangent, but backlinks means basically that other people are referring to my site. I have software that I've spent money and time and all that to do that, but it takes me time. It takes me time to do that. I've got to sit there, process the stuff through the software, and get it done. I spent a fair amount of money on this software because I need the backlinks. It's good for business. That's why I did that. For $5, I've got a guy in India that has my same software that uses it every day, all day, and he can get it done in about 15 minutes. It would take me 2 hours, and it cost me $5. So you know what? He does it every day. He's going to get his $5, and I've just gotten my 5,000 backlinks that I needed, and he's happy. Now, realistically, if I did it myself, is it worth $5? Okay, I get paid more than $5 an hour. Okay, that's just I get paid more than that. You know, it's hard to believe, but okay. And would it probably take me an hour to run? It could. It could. So, should I feel obligated to pay him what I make for my hour of time? Well, law of reciprocity. If I'm thinking that way, sure, because you did 5 things for me, he did 5 backlinks, and I know what I get paid an hour. I should really give him that. But you know what? He doesn't care. I got 18 guys that I'm going to do this for. It takes me 20 minutes, and I'm happy with $5. So I've just won the law of reciprocity. I've just won for what I needed done, and he's happy too. There's my type A, because my type A's can't figure that out. Fiverr figured it out. Fiverr says, you know what? I'm going to put someone who will do those 5 projects for you for nothing. I mean, if it's $5, and it's taken care of. So there are interns or people that will do those 5 projects that you will not have to. I mean, does that make more sense? She still has a tough time buying that. You're still having a tough time buying
I'm
that.
trying to think who's going to step up and do my work.
Oh, okay.
I mean, someone who I could actually trust
Okay.
to do my work.
There's another portion of that is to find someone that you trust. I get that. Trust is going to be different now. Our advantage on something like Fiverr is, yes, you look at reviews because you say, all right, and same thing. You know the teachers who get stuff done. You know who they are. Realistically, you're one of them. So how many other people are coming to you asking you to do their work because they know you get stuff done? You know there's people that are coming to you and doing that same thing. You just got to keep looking for other yous. I mean, they're there. I know you don't believe it, but they're there.
What's coming up in her case, in my case in a different way, is covered by an old saying, when you're up to your ass in alligators, you forget you started out to drain the swamp.
Exactly. That's the walk for her. You got to get out of the swamp. You can get away with it for breathing. You can get away with it if it's project driven. You can get away with breathing. If it's projects driven, You gotta get out of the swamp. You gotta get that perspective again out of the swamp. But understand, there are people that are with you in the swamp that you can play with. And it's tough. I'm not saying that it's easy, but it can be done. And this is what Denise has had to find, is Ashley. Ashley's my other office manager in Greensboro. Ashley is another Denise. But now, if Denise is in the swamp, she knows she can say, Ashley, I need this. I need this. And Ashley will be either, all right, she'll grab a Carol or she'll grab a Beanie and get it done, and then come back and tell Denise, great. So does Ashley do it too? Sure, Ashley does it too, but Ashley also has a Carol in the valley. So they're out there. They're out there, tough to believe, but that's what you're gonna have to. She still doesn't buy it. She doesn't buy it. I'll let you sleep on it, okay? Because if you put that in your brain will figure it out. Your brain will figure it out because you're smart, and that's why we tell people to sleep on it, because your brain can figure out stuff when we don't block it. Because right now she doesn't believe me. I've lost her for the rest of this lecture, but that's okay. Then that's where we need to start. And that's why we had tonight, because you'll buy it to the point where you are now. You need to sleep on that and say, all right, I'll process that. I don't need you to buy it. I need you to process it, and then you can play from there. Any other questions on your upcoming alligator swamp? No. All right, then I'm going to keep going with this. The other part, and if it's single projects, see, she still doesn't buy it. That's okay. If it's single projects, it's the know your limitations. Like, I get it. I am going to give Denise as much swamp as she can take, because understand that I'm in the same swamp, I'm just on a different tier. So I'm clearing a different part of the swamp. So basically, when I get done with I have no problem delegating my swamp stuff to her. But it'll get to the point that she'd be like, I can't do this. And I know where her limitations are because I've been with her. Our tough thing is learning our limitations. It's tough, but we gotta learn to say no. We gotta learn to say no. Business, it's different. I get it. We've still got the same 20 activities. You can't not do those. But when 21 comes, you gotta learn to say no. I will say, my type A'ers, if we can train them that, type A'ers are great at the no when they get it. When they get it. So that is a learned skill. That's a learned skill. It's also tough. I don't want to broad sweeping categorize now, but it's tough for this gen. It's tough for your generation to say no, because the way the time and the way you were raised, that's not. You helped each other out. You built the country kind of deal. I mean, you went through times when you had to help your neighbor. You didn't have it. Your neighbor didn't have it. You just had to help your way through. So it is tough for you, because my parents can't say no either. It's tough for them to say no. Now, they're way retired. Dad has gotten great at saying no. Dad has gotten great, but Dad's like your dad now. Dad's what, 78? So he's not, well, I guess your dad. So, no, Chris,
That's my
your
dad, his mom.
Right, okay, so yeah, your dad, sure he can say no now. I'm sure he'd be like, oh, it's not something I'm gonna deal with. Thank you very much. No. My dad's gotten there. He's like, no, good. No. My A'ers are good with that. If you learn how to say no, that is a doable pattern. So learn your limitations. That's the fun. I need you to circle this for her because she still doesn't buy it. When you need help, get help. Need
Okay.
help?
Now I have to defend her.
Right, okay. Defend away. See, now she's like, you spent 15 minutes bashing her on camera, so I'm gonna break your hands.
She works in public education. Public education doesn't work. The whole system is useless, should be
Flawed,
shut down.
Flawed, I get that. That's right. We're working on a
Yeah.
flawed premise.
And
so-
you have, a politician decides what she's gonna do when he knows nothing about education. A politician decides what to pay her when he has no idea what she's worth. My answer is go to the legislature with a shotgun and solve the problem. But her,
According
she's not
to
that
the-
kind of
The
person.
recorded network,
don't
we
care.
will keep this, we'll edit that
Take that
portion
part out.
out.
It
That's
doesn't
exactly
matter.
but
You know,
Yeah.
you are correct. It is a flawed system, which is why we need to say no, because again, realistically, can you fix the system?
no.
Definitely not.
No. So, fine, we're going to
Not from
work
my
with,
level.
right, we're gonna work within the confines, and that's insanity, is trying to fix something that you have no control over.
It's very
The
frustrating.
other part is, these politicians work on fear. They have put the teachers in a
Absolutely.
point where we'll just fire all of you, and the teachers believe it. The teachers don't understand if they all quit at one time, they could bring the system to its knees.
There-
But
Right.
And I keep telling him that's not gonna happen.
No,
You
no,
know, most
Yeah.
teachers are women, they have children, they can't take the risk.
right.
They have mouths to feed, they're just not going to do it, you know, the way he says.
Well, and the other trouble with that,
I'm
Is we
basically a
don't-
rabble rouser.
well,
Yes, yes.
we don't want you to throw your hands up, which is what teachers have done. The teachers in your position who are this close to being done, a lot of them said, screw it. Screw it, I'm not gonna do nothing, and I'm not gonna make anything better. Well, that defeats the purpose anyway, that's not why you went to a teacher
She's
for
not
a
gonna do it.
specific, right, you're not gonna do that. The other part of that though, is you're going to have to build your limitations. You're gonna have to build your 20 things. And like I said, 20 things are gonna happen. If you take the premise that you wanna keep your job and do your things, there's gonna be those 20, there's going to be those 20 things you've gotta get done. I get it.
And
That
that's
means-
this year. Next year, they'll be 25,
Okay,
unfortunately.
then you need to find someone to pick up the other 5. And they're out there. They're out there. They're out there. So, she's like, Cliff, they're not
The good
out
ones
there.
are leaving.
correct. Correct. And you're not far from them. I get that. But this is what interns are for. This is what the
She
new...
doesn't have one.
There are no interns.
You have no new kids, there's no new people, there's no new blood in your school at all. You have no new blood.
Her 2 newest ones just quit for jobs out of education.
That's very sad.
It is.
So,
It is.
they're driving them out, so,
Yep.
okay. I mean, because that's what we do, is we influx new. You've got to influx new, and they're going to learn their 20 and pick up 2 of mine. So,
If private business ran education, it would work.
yes. Well, private business ran government.
Everything.
Wait a minute, is this still being recorded? Pay no attention to the red flashing lights.
I don't care.
I'm gonna edit that whole mess, but I get it. I get it. Then you need to not be afraid though to take the walk and step out of the jungle. So the 20 things are still there. I get that.
And how many people do what I do? How can I delegate? You know, how many people can I give chemistry papers to and say, I really need help grading? You know, the only other people who can do what I do are other teachers, and they're just as swamped as I am.
Okay, now we need to systematize then. There is no great, okay, because my notes, I'm gonna give you my same thing with that. my notes went from a travel card where I could do a patient note in about 15 seconds to now 4 pages of notes every time I encounter a patient. That's because that's the way government does that. The way that I fix that is through systems. I now have softwares and stuff that take my information and I plug it in, so it's still, now, how long did that take me to set up? Yes, we had 4 doctors working to create the program that we're using now, that already is boilerplated. Now it's customized to what I need. But that took away the time from the 20 that I had already. I had the 20 things I had to do. We had to find that time to make that. But now with those systems, those 4 pages of notes are created in a little longer time. So I mean, your chemistry tests, if there is a way to scan and run, or to, I mean, so here's where we system or technology it out or something. And fine, talk to your computer guys. Say, all right, how do I get a test that if I give this chemistry test that I can multiple guess my answers and I'm not, whatever, systematize it. And here's where you've got to think out of the box, because you're right. Can another English teacher grade your chemistry paper? No. But could a computer teacher scan your forms and make it? Sure. Absolutely there's a way to do something like that. So that has nothing to do with chemistry. That has something to do with the system on how it's set up. So that's now how to, there's my fiber example again, because, you know, I can get a billboard made, or I can get those 5,000 backlinks all on that same site because of technology nowadays, because of the way they can use technology. And that will be another option for you. So she's coming back. She's not completely with me, but she's like, well, there might be something I can do to put. There might be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, our technology's in the Stone Age, you know, because of course, you know, they expect results that are up here, but our planning is.
Sure. Sure.
So I don't think I can rely on technology to fix my problems.
Okay.
Unless, you know, unless I'm paying for the technology, which is.
Well, again, that's not necessarily realistic.
Yeah. I mean, how much stuff have I already brought in to try and make my job easier than I thought myself? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
That amount that I've already spent to try and make my job easier.
Okay. Sleep on it. Because again, you're close to the end, but you're not there yet. So
Yeah.
you're right. You're not out of the swamp yet.
Yeah.
So there are options. We just got to figure out what we want to do to make those options happen. So I don't think I said I'd have all the answers on my
No,
lecture.
you did not
But I
say
have
that.
I have
Some.
some recommended were there tips? There's managing your stress. That's managing is what we play with. Get up and stretch. The get up and stretch is because I'm a chiropractor. That when there's stress, we already have talked about the emotional stress because you can see it. You can see your shoulders drop. You can see your chest tight. The emotional components of stress have a physical reaction on the body. That's a given. So one of the other ways to eliminate or reduce that stress is getting up and stretching. That's the walk, and that's what I mean, because you've got to change this. You got to change this demeanor, because even I get stressed when I'm like, ooh, okay. I don't have an answer or solution yet for your problem. I can see myself doing it this way. Is stretching. Stretching is important for that.
I can remember having that in going to training seminars and things like that when you knew you'd almost lost everybody in the class. Get them up and stretch.
There you go.
If nothing else, it wakes you up, but it refreshes people.
It gives you that little break that we need, and like I said, the physical activity of stress or stretching is beneficial. just to get me going. My last one is our progressive relaxation. This is the craziness that everybody talks about. That I am not by far a new age advocate. That is way not my persona. Because dude, I'm a type C. I'm not an A, I'm not a driver, but no. So for me to sit down for 5 minutes and go, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But progressive relaxation for my type A's, it's a system to get to rest. When you got so much stuff, I got stuff. If you can't get to sleep, because that's another one of our problems is people's ability to get to sleep, you need to create a step-by-step protocol. And this is, I always talk to my seniors about this, because they'll stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then are worthless for the rest of the day, partially because they haven't set up a regime, because everything is the same for them. They wake up and eat and get out, and then eat and then get out, and then eat and get out, and then eat and then get out. And there's no system. They're like, I guess I should go to bed now. Like, oh crap, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I should go to bed. There's no system. So the progressive relaxation here is setting up something for you to get to a rest period. If it's before you go to sleep, then fine. I need to brush my teeth, comb my hair, get in bed, go to sleep. I've got to progress it out. I can't do get in bed, or brush my teeth, watch TV, brush my hair. Oh crap, put the dog out. No, there needs to be I'm doing my sleep protocol. Here is I'm done. Now, does that mean that we cannot deviate from that? Yes. It's a protocol. You've got to put that into place, and you will find it's easier to get to sleep. So, or to get to that rest period. It's a protocol. You put it in place and run it that way. So if you're not ready to go to sleep, don't run the protocol. Don't brush your teeth and then go, oh, I still have all this activity. It's just, no. Don't break the protocol. Create that protocol, and that's it. If I'm going to bed, I mean, kids are great. Kids are great. If you can get a kid to create that protocol, I will create a good sleeper, no matter what age that kid is. If I can get you and create that protocol for bedtime, I will not have you getting up and running out of bed. We can cradle train a kid, whatever, bed train, getting out of the crib. But you got to have the protocol. And sadly, we lose that as adults because we've got shit to do. We've got stuff to do. So, do your stuff, but then run the protocol before you go to bed. That's what we're going to do. So, like, you are my book reading, audiobook queen. Audiobook is not the best protocol for you to run to go to sleep. It's not, because you do it all the time. You put audiobooks into your regime all the time. It is not the protocol that you want right before bed. If you
But
didn't
it
know.
is what I do,
Right. And
because it turns my mind off.
okay, and it can take a long time to do that, though, is what the problem is. You'd be like, some nights it takes me 30 minutes to go to sleep, some nights it takes me an hour and a half to go to sleep. That's why, because that protocol is in your everyday activity. It's not, does that make sense? Is that
It's not something I do exclusively before I go
correct?
to sleep.
Right, because so your body hasn't prepped for finishing when you just listen to an audiobook. You're not finished. You're like, oh, I'm relaxed and my mind is better, but I'm not finished, because you'll do it in here. You'll do it like grading papers, just so it shouldn't be your finish routine. And does that mean that I don't want you to listen to audiobooks tonight? No. But you're gonna have to. Yeah, Ralph's like, please God. don't make him say to not listen to the audiobooks, because then she will never get sleep. But you want to think about creating a protocol that doesn't necessarily end with the audiobook. That doesn't necessarily end that way. And I don't need a long drawn out protocol. Does that make sense for you? I don't need 18 things for you to prep for bed. If it's I shut the light off, get on my right side and go to bed, then that's the protocol. But I can't be shut the light off, finish my audiobook, lay on the right side. It needs to be there is your protocol. Like, turn the light off, I lay my audiobook here. This is it. And all you're doing is you're creating that protocol. You're creating, this is my go to sleep protocol.
But then I lie there and think about all the things that I didn't do, and how many things I have to do tomorrow. That's why I listen to the books,
Which
because
is
it turns
not-
off my brain.
Okay, then listen to the book and then finish with something else. You need a, like, I don't know if I would turn off the lights and just lay there and listen to the book until I fall asleep. Because that won't give you a time factor. That won't shorten this period. You're going to do what you're doing now, which is takes 30 minutes to get to bed, or it takes 3 hours to get to bed, depending on how crazy my day was for that. I mean, and that, or it depends on how good the freaking book is that I'm listening to, too, because then you're like, ooh, I can't stop at this chapter. I need to.
And see, while she's doing that, I put the earphones on and quiet music, and I'm gone in 3 minutes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so then but when do you listen to quiet music other times in your day?
Most of the day.
Okay, but through earphone,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So there's his protocol. So and that's why you can do the 3 minute, because my wife hates it. She's like, bastard, can go to bed in 3 minutes, because I have a protocol. I do this, and then I'm out. And my wife will be like, you lay this way, you turn on your side here, and you go to bed. How do you do that? It's like, because I've created that protocol. I've created that. So I can go to the Bahamas, and if I want to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I do this, I do that, and I'll go to sleep, because that's my protocol. So he probably could, middle of the day, if he drank his water, put his headphones on, lay on the side, boop, he'd be out, because you've created that.
Well, the reasons for the earphones is she doesn't like my music, so.
Well, and no, but that's fair. But that's been what we created. So that's
Yeah.
his protocol. And if you can do it consistent, and you're out in 3 to 5 minutes, your protocol works. That's
But you don't understand. Gene could fall asleep anywhere, anytime.
Because I have sleep
Any
apnea.
day.
okay. Well, now
He stops and
apnea.
sits still for 30 seconds. He's gone.
All right. Well, okay. And that's not the best example, but some of that is protocol. So, some of that is he's created a sleep protocol. That's.
But you're right, I have to turn on my right side. If I lay on my back,
It doesn't
I
happen.
won't go to sleep.
Gene still loves me. He still loves me. Get that on camera. Can I get that? Or no? Okay. So that's the other part for this progressive relaxation is just to create some sort of system. Thank you. That's the fountain that goes on. Some sort of system to relax. And for type A'ers, sleep is usually the best relaxation because, like you said, if you're sitting in the middle of the afternoon and you're like, I'm trying to relax, but I have 25 other things to do. It's not great. So I usually will recommend it for progressive relaxation as a time to sleep and work on creating a protocol for that. And that doesn't mean that you can't add the audio, but you want to add a different, non-consistent activity that you do. Like if you, all right, I take my glasses off, okay, when you're listening to your audiobooks, you're usually wearing your glasses. I mean, that's when I see you listen to audiobooks when you're in here, you're going to usually look at like through glasses. So, and you're sitting, for me. So it would be one of those, all right, I'm going to listen to my audiobook sitting. If you're in bed, do you sit in bed and listen to your audiobook and do it? Okay, so what are you doing when you're getting ready to go to sleep? here's,
earphones.
it's on record now.
I put in my earphones and we turn off the lights, take off my glasses, we go to bed, and I just listen until I wake up in the morning and I realize that, you know,
You're out.
yeah,
Okay. Then perfect. I would add a thing in there. I would add I take off my glasses and, like I said, I lay on my right side, or I pull the cover over my shoulder. Mine is a shoulder thing. My wife knows that I'm not going to go to sleep until I pull the cover over my shoulder, and it's per my protocol. That's just it. So if she wants me up, she'll keep the covers down. Like if she wants to talk to me or whatever, even though I'm I'm ready to go to sleep mode, she'll keep she'll keep the cover down, because I'll be like, yes, yes, dear, yes. But she knows if I do the side, pull my cover up, do the thing, if I run my protocol, I'm out. But she's 3 minutes and I'm out. So there needs to be something in there. And again, keep the audiobook in. I don't really care, but there's got to be a something that's telling you that this is it. That now I'm done. Now I'm done. So I put my remote control on the I put my reader on the bedstead, and I put it this way versus this way. I mean that it's something that stupid. It really is. So.
Sheldon.
yeah. The Big Bang Theory.
Yes, Sheldon is perfect. Sheldon has a routine, absolutely.
Yes, he has a routine for everything.
Everything. Right, and he's an ass for a butt. I understand that.
But it works for him.
Do you know how much stress that Sheldon has?
None.
None.
Everyone
Makes everybody
around him
him
does.
crazy.